Here we go, guys. Boom, boom, boom. Come on now, let's go. Where's everybody from? Come on, let us know where you're from, QArmy. Where we go when we go all worldwide. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every single day here on the Matrixxx Groove Hour at 1300 hours. Well, I'm in the Matrixxx again, so around 1300 hours is the Matrixxx Groove, I guess, show. Because we're more than an hour, and today is 3:30, March 30th, 2020, and I think we need to get my partner in justice in here, Shady Groove. Welcome, Shady Groove.
Hello, sir. It is another Monday out there in the beautiful land of America. Freedom is starting to ring, and people are starting to pay attention, my friend.
Yes, sir. And we've got people from all over here. We've got Rain Dancer from Southwest Florida, BB 0306 is Georgia, Oregon, Dana Sizemore, Southern Oregon, Shady, Phantom M61A1, Steel City, Pittsburgh. Nice, welcome, Steel City. The Netherlands from Dutch Granny Q. She's near Maastricht. And that's Pam from North Carolina, Naomi from Florida, David from Arlington, Texas, Beth Tucker from Kentucky, Syracuse, New York. We got Paul from England. We got so many people here. Jimmy Cap from Wisconsin. Real Patrick J. Vegas, baby. Guys, we got so many awesome people here. New Mexico, Mara, Daniel, Letty from Arkansas. Hey, I know Arkansas, Shady.
Bill, we know where you're from.
Right, so we actually had some Q posts over the weekend, Shady. Pretty amazing.
Yes, we did. We also may have some new people out there joining us today. If you are new to the show today, if you were joining us last night on the call that we did with Scotty, that was pretty amazing. Thanks for coming over and hanging out with us. You're going to find an amazing group of patriots, and also the moderators here in blue are here to help you if you have questions or need a little direction. Don't hesitate to ask. This is an amazing group out here, and we all welcome anyone of any creed, of any nationality. We don't care. All we want is for you to be a supporter of freedom.
That's right. I mean, this is about freedom, Shady. This is
Yes, sir.
We're actually witnessing a lot of things, and I also want to just remind our audience too that there is Shady, there's a all-out assault on intheMatrixxx on Twitter and Shady Groove on Twitter. We get people telling me this all the time, and I just want to share it with you real quick, Shady. You think we should share it real quick?
What doesn't hurt to share it. I think a lot of people that listen to us will have similar experiences.
Right. So this is, hi, I just had a DM that kind of warned me about you. I'm pretty straightforward and play no games. They said Q didn't like the way you were getting money from all this. You devote a lot of time to it. I get a lot of good free info off YouTube, so I don't have a problem with it. But I wanted to know, is it true that Q actually mentioned that? I apologize if it sounds insulting and rude. I don't mean to be. And then the person says, actually, I just went to your website and you offer a lot of free information. Well, all of it is free. So I'm not sure what the person's problem was, but maybe they're the ones that we should be suspicious of.
Boom.
Boom. Logical thinking. This is a well-formed operation. Ever since I mentioned the P word, the Payseur word, is when all of this happened, Shady.
All hell broke loose.
All hell broke loose.
And the rain started falling.
Right. Yeah, it is not true that Q said that. They use and misrepresent other Q posts that were talking about Alex Jones, Jerome Corsi, and the like. Q Post 1366 says it's okay, and people think that you're raking it in when you're just living on donations from great patriots. We have a website that we pay for. I am actually doing this full time right now. We actually need a lot more because we're going to update a website, and we got to pay for that. We've got to pay for, nobody's making a killing off the Q movement. Let me just tell you that, Shady.
No one is. Not Dustin, who wrote the book, not Praying Medic, not Lisa. No one who's taking donations for providing information and digging on Q is making a killing, or what I would consider a profit.
Yeah.
One keeps talking about this word profit and profiting off of Q. That's not what Q was talking about. Q was referencing what Alex Jones and Jerome Corsi were attempting to do, which was infiltrate the movement and then pretend like they were Q, or that they had inside information that Q didn't have. And that is directly what Q was talking about.
Yep.
With the Patriot. And then he came on later to explain it clearer because everybody got confused. It's like, how are we going to, isn't it a spell to say that we can't make a t-shirt?
Oh yeah. I mean, like, who would say that, guys? Who would not want you to get the Q message out there? Let me just see what the people out there say, Shady. Who doesn't want you to talk about Q? Who doesn't want you to wear a shirt that says Q so somebody can ask you about it?
Correct.
Who?
And that was the op to begin with. They came straight out from the MAGA coalition, with Ginger and all of them attacking us, starting the FUHQ, then all of the Discord people attacking after a little while of pretending. And then now we're in the main, the main stream bloodline of talking about who is P and talking about this Payseur trust that backed the Fed. You're seeing what happened last week was phenomenal with what the president did for you. I think we're going to get into it here in a few minutes. I'm not going to go into it right now, but stay tuned for that, because what happened last week was unbelievable, and it has directly to do with the Payseur trust.
That's right. We're all mad here. Says we're all in this together. This is for lunch. Thank you so much. I also wanted to show you this. What did Q say about Matrixxx? Let's just find out. Let's do a Control F on this and do that always happens. Let me just turn that off, guys. In the Matrixxx, and in the Matrixxx. It only shows one. That's weird. So, but here it is right here. This is me. I'm on. Let me just find me real quick. There I am in the Matrixxx. See this account right here? Listed on a Q post. See that? Here it is. Just to prove to you guys, it goes to my in the Matrixxx account right there. There I am. That's the Q post. So what does Q say about in the Matrixxx? And why would clowns be DMing people? Well, let's just, remind people of what happened there, guys. These were dropped by Q. This is the top 200, and it says, Patriots, you've been selected as threats and falsely labeled as a foreign disinfo agents, though the attempt to disguise at the bottom is not all. This is an attempt to target and remove by false pretenses all threatening voices, elimination of free speech to prevent loss of control. These actions are now being monitored and would strongly encourage forwarding this information to the appropriate members of Congress, Senate, and the media. We believe that this is a test run to effectively silence the opposition while testing the potential media backlash and or official response. This is an attempt to remove, silence, or fascism. Those who oppose their view narrative should further demonstrate their resolve to control the message narrative, win at any cost. Q. This is what Q says about these folks that are on this list. And for those who think that this war is fake, or we are not considered a major threat, that this direct attack by Hillary Clinton on Q and the pro-POTUS Patriots, the article reference has an embedded link that literally targets pro-POTUS Q Twitter accounts that have been identified by the Clinton deep state as serious threats. The ability to shift the narrative, guys. Twitter has already begun to move the targeted account stages under false pretenses. The war is real. The threat is real. Clinton panic, Clinton fear, Judgment Day coming, Q. And that was tweeted out by Hillary Clinton, guys. So,
so this all, in our opinion, this all wraps back around to the backdoor alt reality / Alex Jones type controlled media that stands around and creates the blockade between the real information and people who look at conspiracy stuff.
Yep.
So all of this is coordinated, and I would imagine a lot of you guys out there, if you've shown support for us on Twitter, have gotten similar messages.
Yep, absolutely. And this is Hillary's tweet right here. And then there's the article that she links to, Shady. And calling us Russian bots. It's the same core of accounts that was talking about vote fraud. And they don't like us talking about vote fraud. This is the link within the article that Hillary Clinton tweeted. So anybody that is basically telling you to stay away from me is helping Hillary Clinton. That's basically the long and the short of it, Shady.
Helping the trust, helping the Fed, helping the narrative stay alive.
That's right. There it is going to me. See, guys? So ask if that person's on the top 200 list that Q pointed out and called a patriot. All right. So it's kind of hard to these sustained attacks. And we're going to talk about that right now in these Q posts. That's a lead up to what we're talking about today, Shady.
Yes, it is. And we have something very special for you guys on deck. And I think you're really going to love this.
Oh my gosh. So let's really quick. Ooh, that's going to be, I'm not crying. I'm not going to cry. You're going to cry.
Yes, you are. And a big thank you going out to Kiwi and Sue and all the guys who worked so hard on the project we're getting ready to share with you.
So let's go. This is my thread for 3/28/20. This will be my thread for all Q posts Saturday, March 28th, 2020. This is more than party politics. The whole world is watching and more.
Let's go. They said, let's go. Charging forward. Boom, boom,
Boom, boom, boom.
Let's go. All right, so here we go. This is a Patriot reading by very amazing Patriots. Let me just go to this capture right here. Let's play it right now. Enjoy.
A person's value. 1. Vote. 2. Monetary value. Tax contribution. 3. Why is free thought ridiculed, challenged, and threatened when a person is opposed to the mainstream narrative? 2. Remains fixed, degree allowable by economic recession and expansion. 1. Remains a variable. 1. Dependent on a controlled system of information dissemination. What happens when 90% of the media is controlled and owned by 6 corporations? What happens when those same corporations are operated and controlled by a political ideology? What happens when the news is no longer free from bias? What happens when the news is no longer reliable and independent? What happens when the news is no longer trustworthy? What happens when the news simply becomes an extension arm of a political party? Fact becomes fiction. Fiction becomes fact. When does news become propaganda? Identity creation.
How does the average person who is under constant financial stress by design find time to research and discern fact versus fiction? Majority of people more prone to believe someone in power sitting behind a big brand news name. Do people, human psyche, tend to follow the majority mainstream viewpoint in fear of being isolated and or shunned? Mainstream is used for a reason. Dominate trend in opinion. If a majority of people believe X, then X must be validated true. Why do mainstream media heads within different organizations always use the same keywords and or catchphrases? Coordinated? By who? Outside entity providing instructions? Do they count on the fact that people, human psyche, are more prone to believe something if heard over and over again by different trusted sources? Do echo chamber tactics provide validation credibility to the topic, point being discussed? Threat to intellectual freedom? Would control over of these institutions, organizations, allow for mass control of population's viewpoint regarding a desired topic? Read again. Digest. Would control over of these institutions, organizations, allow for the mass control of population's viewpoint regarding a desired topic? Logical thinking. Why, after the election of 2016, did D's and media corporations jumpstart a coordinated and planned divisive blitz intended to create falsehoods regarding illegitimacy of election? Character assassination of POTUS through sexism, racism, and every other ism. Pre-post 2016 election, why were violent masked terror orgs such as Antifa immediately created and funded? Why were these organizations tasked with immediate intimidation, shutdown of any pro-POTUS rallies and or events? Why were marches immediately organized to counter and silence pro-POTUS rally and or events? Why were marches immediately organized which divided people into sex, gender, race-ism? When you control the levers of news dissemination, you control the narrative. Control of the narrative equals power. When you are blind, what do you see?
They want you divided. Divided by religion, divided by sex, divided by political affiliation, divided by class. When you are divided and angry and controlled, you target those different from you, not those responsible controllers. Divided, you are weak. Divided, you pose no threat to their control. When non-dogmatic information becomes free and transparent, it becomes a threat to those who attempt to control the narrative and or stable livestock kept, sheep. When you are awake, you stand on the outside of the stable, groupthink collective, and have free thought. Free thought is a philosophical viewpoint which holds that positions regarding truth should be formed on the basis of logic, reason, and empiricism rather than authority, tradition, revelation, or dogma. This represents a clear and present danger to the constitutional republic of the United States of America. Q.
Decide for yourself. Be free from outside opinion. Decide for yourself. Be objective in your conclusions. Decide for yourself. Be true in your own beliefs. Decide for yourself. Be open to following the facts. Decide for yourself. Be strong in defending your beliefs. Decide for yourself. Be resistant to blindly accepting factless statements.
Those that attack you, those that mock you, those who call you, those who control you, those who label you, do they represent you or do they represent themselves in some form? Mental enslavement.
The Great Awakening, freedom of thought, was designed and created not only as a back channel to the public, away from the long-standing mind control of the corrupt and heavily biased media, to endure future events through transparency and regeneration of individual thought, breaking the chains of groupthink, but more importantly, aid in the construction of a vehicle, a ship that provides the scattered free thinkers with a starter, new social networking platform which allows for freedom of thought, expression, patriotism, or national pride, feeling of love, devotion, and sense of attachment to a homeland and alliance with other citizens who share the same sentiment. When non-dogmatic information becomes free and transparent, it becomes a threat to those who attempt to control the narrative and or the stable. When you are awake, you stand on the outside of the stable, groupthink collective, and have free thought. Free thought is a philosophical viewpoint which holds that position regarding truth should be formed on the basis of logic, reason, and empiricism, rather than authority, tradition, revelation, or dogma. When you are awake, you are able to clearly see. The choice is yours and yours alone. Trust and put faith in yourself. You are not alone and you are not in the minority. Difficult truths will soon see the light of day. Where we go one, we go all. Q.
The entire world is watching. Patriots from around the world are praying for America. We're all bound by a feeling deep inside, a feeling that cannot be publicly expressed for fear of ridicule, a feeling that challenges the mainstream narrative against that which we are told to accept and dare not question. Put simply, that people are being abused by those in power and time is running out. Remember the battles of Lexington and Concord. Give me liberty or give me death. For far too long, we have been silent and allowed our bands of strength that we once formed to defend liberty and freedom to deteriorate. We became divided, we became weak. We elected traitors to govern us. We allowed evil to prey on us. Those who claimed to represent us gave us false hope, made false promises. The evil and corruption only grew.
This is more than party politics. This is about restoring old glory. This is about saving our land and our people from those who wish to harm. This is about preserving our republic. This is about preserving our safety. This is about restoring our strength. This is about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is about protecting our children. This is about saving America.
We are all God's children. We are fathers. We are mothers. We are daughters. We are sons. We are brothers. We are sisters. We do not look at race. We do not look at skin color.
We are united in these states of America. We are and will always be patriots. We must rise again. We must unite again. We must fight again for God and country. God bless America. Where we go one, we go all.
All. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Just wow, guys. A very wonderful reading. Shady?
Where we go one, we go all.
Whew, that was really good. So that was our quarantine project this weekend. Everybody.
That's what we did from the couch.
That's what we did. And I want to give a special thank you to Pseudonym and Kiwi, who actually thought of the project and kind of got it done, right? And amazing. And all the fine patriots that were around and able to speak some of these words. God bless you all. You all did an amazing job. An amazing, amazing, amazing job.
And I think that maybe after everyone hearing that, you understand why Q posted that to us on Saturday.
Yeah.
He wants us to see what is in the Q drops. He wants new people to Q. We're finding a lot of people coming to Q that have not read this information, and it's hard to find the posts that are buried in it, but Q reposted those for us for a reason, because he knows that us together is the only way we win. And we know right now, with everything that's going on in the world, not just our country, that there is more to this than meets the eye. And the outbreak or the pandemic is something that is being overblown considering the scope and size that's actually occurring on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which looks like operations are active.
So those were amazing readings by amazing patriots. Those were the Q posts. And then Q followed it up with this flag, Shady.
He sure did. And let's also connect that it was this is a 1 year delta from the flags out Q posts.
That's right.
Yes.
Flags out, guys.
And also Flotus yesterday put her flag banner out.
Yep. Scavino yesterday tweeted his flag.
Yep. So flags out, connecting all the way back to the Q post from a year ago, where Q was I think he hit probably 15 different Twitter accounts he tagged that day with people with their American flags out. This is the time for America. This is a time like none of us ever thought would happen or that we would ever see, but it's happening. Your country is going to be freed from the chains that bind it, and your future is going to be what it was that you thought of when you were younger as a future, not what it's become from the control system that's been manipulating every single aspect of our realities for decades now, century.
Yeah. And Zoltan says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the USA, where we go, one we go all. Dexter, I want to thank you very much. I missed some people too. Let me just see who I got. Zoltan, we got, let's see, following anything is dangerous. Why did the Q proclaim otherwise? John, I can't say that right. Tatsuka blindly following anything is dangerous. The earth is flat. Why did Q proclaim otherwise? I don't understand what you're saying. This is about free thinking, not following anything. Do you understand? This is about you thinking for yourself.
And being allowed to think what it is you want to think.
Right. And, the earth is flat. If you think that's okay. We'll allow it.
All is all.
Right, all is all. David Wilcox said 4 to 5 sources. Remember, POTUS just says if you hear something when people say 5 sources said, I mean, that was a POTUS tweet. So I know there's a lot of David Wilcox stuff going on. 3 days, no cell internet coming today or tomorrow before 10:20. My thoughts are, I'll see it when I believe it. I mean, it could very well be. It could very well be. Joseph Gully said 3 days no cellular internet could very well be. We don't know. Lisa Assad said, thank you for your superb research. Buy a couple donuts, fellas. God bless you. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
And we're all mad here. Says we are in this together. And by the way too, we've got a lot of people saying fix your fix your fuzzy letters, fix your stuff, guys. Right on the YouTube video, if you look on the YouTube is doing this on purpose, guys, to save bandwidth. They even had an article about it. But if you go to the YouTube where we're at, right here, right now. Whoops, I'm sorry, wrong window here. Hang on. Oh, sorry, guys. There's a little cog there. That cog adjusts your, settings, your resolution. So you're probably on 4 or 240 or something like that. Go put it on auto 1080p, and then you should have no problems with any of the fuzzy letters or anything, guys, because there were no fuzzy letters. But I want to keep going through this thread too, Shady, because there was another synchronicity that, and somebody else noticed it too. Pretty interesting. I had 5 hours before that Q post. Do they count on the fact that people, human psyche, are more prone to believe something heard over and over again in different trusted sources? Do echo chamber tactics provide validation, credibility to the topic point being discussed, threat to intellectual freedom? And Q posted that. But it was because of one of the reasons, fake news, and this could be in the alternative media too, and we need to just, if it happens, we'll report it, if it's true. One of the reasons that fake news has become so prevalent and far-reaching is that fact that corrupt journalists base their stories on sources they make up in order to totally distort the narrative or story. When you see 5 sources say, don't believe the story, it's fake news. So your president can answer you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's how, I don't know. Future will prove past. We try not to
scare people.
Speculate too. I mean, we can't speculate. We could have theories. I guess we do have theories, right? But, I don't think we have to be scared at all. This is an emergency alert I got on Friday night, or Saturday, excuse me. Everybody got it. March 28th, just now. Then there's the EOs, so we need to follow the pens. This is Ordered Select Reserve and certain members of the Individual Ready Reserve, RR, right? Forces, Armed Forces to active duty, guys. Another one, EO, delegating additional authority under the DPA with respect to health and medical resources to respond to the spread of COVID-19. President Trump delivered some amazing remarks at the USNS Comfort send-off in Norfolk, and I wanted to specifically bring this to your attention. Here we go.
He said 151 3 times, guys. 3 times. Let's listen.
At this moment, there are 151 countries throughout the world that are under attack by this horrible, invisible enemy. 151 countries. And we're in touch with a lot of them. Our professionals are the best in the world. But who would ever think 151 countries are under attack?
Okay, so 151 leads back to Q Post 151. How do you capture a very dangerous animal? Do you tack it from the front? Do you walk through the front door? Do you signal ahead of time you'll be attacking? How do you distinguish between the good and the bad? Who do you trust to keep secrets? How do you prevent leaks? How do you trust to complete the mission? How do you prevent warnings being sent? Why is Admiral Rogers so important? Why was the source code from the former NSA Collections P's public record released? How do you blind the clowns in America? What was Snowden's primary mission? What was Snowden's real primary mission? Was Snowden truly attacking on his own? Nothing is as it appears. What show is being put on by AG Sessions since his confirmation? What show is being put on by POTUS since AG Sessions' confirmation? Why is AG Sessions' confirmation challenged heavily? Why is Rod Rosenstein's confirmation smooth and easy? What was the vote count for RR? Why did Sessions recuse himself? Why is this relevant? What group has vocally supported RM repeatedly? How do you capture a very dangerous animal? Who is best to conduct the attack? What is the one force necessary to retain control? Why does the U.S. military play such a vital role in this global game of risk? What is money without power? Why did POTUS depart Manila 30 minutes ahead of schedule? Why is Air Force One landing in Hawaii? Does Air Force One have in-air flying refueling ability? Nothing is as it appears. What was the D.C. vote breakdown between Trump and Clinton? What is the nickname for D.C.? Why would sealed indictments be outside D.C. jurisdiction? What is the purpose would this serve? Why are judicial appointments being rapidly completed? Who can you trust? Have faith, patriots. Q.
Pretty interesting there, huh? 151 times 3. He said that 3 times, Shady.
Right, because you would imagine that our opponents are in a cornered animal posture right now.
Right.
And very dangerous.
Invisible enemy, invisible attack. That brings us back to this post, The Shadow War, Act 2, Scene 4, movie idea, thoughts, characters, good guy, pilot of helicopter, bad guy, pilot of plane, targets on the ground and in home. Story, upon receipt of the go code, good guy flies during a blackout window provided by unknown agency. He's talking about why did POTUS depart from Manila 30 minutes early, remember? To select location, provided by unknown agency, unknowns, ordinary people by the look of it, to a select location regarding highly classified mission, Hawaii, who is given the go code order X to execute delivery 3 for care. Bad guy intercepts messages due to rogue operator embedded in tactical observation unit and takes out the good guy by top-down invisible attack. Mission failure. Failure, guys. What has since occurred by targets?
And that's the clip. That's a little clip photo or picture of that post. But above that post was actually Q responding to someone who asked a question about the Apple yellow sky.
That's right. And
we had General Flynn change his banner last week to the yellow banner. And we also have interesting news about gold.
That's right. Here you go, Shady. This is the stringer. This is post 179, the full post. It's a long one here.
Right.
And it's talking about yellow, bunker, Apple, yellow sky +1, right? What stringer was provided? There we go. That's the conference DTT, conference Trump Tower, right? Possibly, right? So very, very interesting, guys.
Connection to invisible and connection to the invisible enemy. It goes on to talk about Rothschilds and target and the plane and the mission. It was referencing a real event that happened then, but we are being pointed back.
Right. And interesting that post 151 kind of does lead back to this, right?
Yes, it does.
And the invisible attack was right over Rothschilds as well. So we've got some interesting connections there for sure. If you are new to Q, I've got this little video that I'm gonna drop. The mods will drop this for you. I think it'll be a really good, this is a really good, like, who is Q? Just short, sweet, and to the point. Very, very good. This is the Matrixxx Groove Hour YouTube membership. Let's go ahead and check this out, guys. There's our beautiful mods right there, guys. Don't forget to go to intheMatrixxx with 3x's.com. Wow, thank you very much, Sue. That was another pseudonym classic. Thank you very much for that. And if you want to join the Discord server or get the cool emojis, down below this video right now, there's a join button. You can press that, or if you open up the video, check out the links to join as well. There's a link to join as well. So please support us. We go in there queued up, and Poussant did a class this weekend, Shady, out of that Discord server.
Yeah, we did. And then we actually decided we would just go ahead and maybe put it up on YouTube so that everyone could get a little bit of a taste of what we're digging into in the background, guys. You know, really a lot of this stuff that we're seeing going on with the numbers relevant to the words and the capital letters and the tweets and the different things. It's just incredible to see all these connections. But we understand that it kind of gets a little bit complicated sometimes. So we thought we would put it up and see what kind of response we got. And people really were taking to it, like lots of involvement, people asking questions, people interested. And we actually, we produced that out of the QArmy Discord just to see how it would go. And I think it came off pretty well. Yeah, pretty well, but we had some technical difficulties, but you know, we worked through them. YouTube doesn't want us telling people how to turn letters into numbers. They're getting all freaked out over that. Yeah, they are, my friend. They really are. Also, we got the comfort, Shady, and the mercy. Comfort and mercy. So what's the opposite of mercy, Shady? Think mirror on mercy. What would that be? Pain. No mercy. No mercy. Comfort. Mirror of comfort. Pain. Right. So QPost 2722, no mercy, no bargaining, a traitor's justice, PAIN, Q. Right. And then QPost 521, we are fighting for life. We are fighting for good. We are at war. Not everything will be clean. Scare necessary event. And this was January 14th, 2018. Scare necessary event. This is it. This is the scare necessary event, in my opinion. Do you trust the U.S. military, Shady? Yes. I do too. Do you trust the chain of command? Yes. Have faith. We are in control, Patriots. Patriots Day. Have faith. You were chosen for a reason. You are being provided the highest level of intel to ever be dropped publicly in the history of the world. Use it. Protect and comfort those around you. Where we go one, we go all. Protect and comfort, not scare everybody. Exactly. Learn to be a neighbor again. That's right. Help out someone who maybe you wouldn't have had time to help out before. Think forward about like the times whenever you might need something. Yeah. That's what a lot of us have forgotten, to realize that, okay, maybe we're fine. You're fine today. The day may come one day when you need something. Yeah. And those things used to be easy because we were constantly providing things that others needed. And when we needed something, it was right there. And we got to rekindle those neuron connections. And that's part of what this time of being at home is about. Find out more about who your neighbors are, what they need, what their struggles are. How can you help? You know, be involved. What if our whole future is that, Matrixxx? That's right. What if that is what if this is our future? What if this is our future? What if we're being positioned to go back to what America meant to be, which was everything that we produce was excellent. Everything that we have is wealth. Nothing is a struggle. We don't don't have interest-based fiat currency, but real gold-backed money.
Right.
That will drive down the cost of commodities. Your dollar will increase in buying power, and the rest of the world will see something that the likes of which no one has ever seen in the modern world, which would be a free capitalist market.
That's right. And we got to also look at where and why mercy and comfort are where they are. So if you go to Q Post 2037, it says, what about the budget? You know, why would California elected officials knowingly collapse the budget? Who elects California officials? Many money to be made. Big pharma donations. How much to these D candidates and CA and New York elected, right? Officials. How much money has Big Pharma donated to those elected officials? Companies versus compare versus other states. Why are California and New York vital areas of control? Think ports. Think legal protection. So there we're going into, I think, shady admiralty law and kind of what we're going to start talking about here in 2 seconds.
Absolutely. And Kevin Rogers says that the comfort has made Gitmo rides. That is absolutely correct.
Yes.
In fact, Gitmo rides from Haiti.
From
to
Haiti.
Guantanamo Bay.
That's right. That's absolutely right. I mean, I saw that video that Lisa May, I think, had a tip in as well. So we can look at that as well. And, you know, they named it the Statue of Liberty because if you're on a ship and you've got time off to go onto land, they call that liberty.
Correct.
Yeah. It's amazing the stuff it's always been right there in front of you, right? I just want to quickly cover this real quick. Headline on Yahoo before: Trump attacks black reporter, berates, right? Here it is right here. Let me get it a little bit bigger. Trump berates black reporter for virus question. Let me see one more.
Okay.
Let me click it. It's funny how this works. And then the actual article says Trump increases hostility towards reporters questioning his handling of the coronavirus crisis.
Okay.
I'm Britt Hume.
And what do you think, Britt?
And then Trump slams reporters for citing Hannity quote is the Yahoo headline afterwards.
That's where we end up.
Right.
Right. It's like a slow moving.
It's like ism. They were trying to use ism and every other ism, guys. It's just insane.
The guy is going on. He's getting crazy ratings. He's going on there. He's getting more people watching the Monday Night Football. They're like, oh, my God, we can't let him be on the air. They all Fox News cut him off Friday.
That's right. Shady. So let's get into it. There's been a lot of people, why have we been attacked? And it seems like, to me, Shady, Q Plus, a.k.a. POTUS, confirmed Payseur. Now, I want to, Shady, I want you to talk real quick, and then we'll go over this Payseur thing. But you had something that I thought was very, very important to say, like in regards to Q, in regards to Payseur, thinking that they're people, Shady, right? So why don't you? I really was impressed with your. Go for it, Shady.
With my little take on this.
With your take on it, yeah.
So this is what I would like to say, and I think that this may answer a lot of questions out there about different things. But look at what we're doing. Look at this operation that we're having here. This operation that is Q. Q says nameless, faceless, for a reason. Why is that? Nameless, faceless, for a reason. And my opinion is it's because people attack people. And people want people to say things so that other people can attack the people. Whenever you're nameless and faceless, it's very hard for them to attack you. Hence, Q, right? Nameless and faceless. But who's also nameless and faceless? P, the trust, the Payseur trust was hidden, tried to scrub from the record books, tried to eliminate from any research, attempted to completely conceal all relevant documents relating to this trust, this family, and the whole actual con and setup that went on in the late 1800s. P is nameless and faceless. So we've established a nameless and faceless entity to take on the invisible enemy, okay? And the reason that's so critical is because if it were a person, if it were, say, one of the president's cabinet members, or if it was one of his family members, or whoever it was that someone knew Q was, that person would be relentlessly attacked directly with force and vigor by every single mainstream media outlet on the face of the planet. That's why this operation of being Q anonymous or nameless and faceless is beautiful. And the message was very simple for us, people like Matrixxx and I, who say the truth. We see the president is saying the truth, and we see the right enemies are under assault. So we have used a nameless, faceless hero to fight the nameless, faceless villain, okay? And that is the balance that we're operating in here, everyone. And that is why no one is going to be going on YouTube claiming that they are Q. Use logic. That ruins the whole operation.
That's right. It's you know, people are trying to usurp this operation. We got people in this channel right now talking crap. But we've been over the target for a long time. Q Post 1970 says P equals Payseur. And then there's a lot of, let's just connect it real quick. Let's just show you what I found, obviously. Donald J. Trump tweeted, as usual with this General Motors, things just never seem to work out. They said they were going to give us 40,000, foot view guys, need much needed ventilators very quickly. Now they're saying it will only be 6,000 in late April. And they want top dollar. Always a mess with Mary B. Invoke P. Right. So everybody's like, well, that's presidential powers or something like that, right? Shady, that he did.
Protection Act.
Yeah, the Protection Act. That is true. But mess with the best, die like the rest, GM. Because GM is one of the original Payseur companies that is in the Payseur Trust.
Yes.
That's what the bailout was. Remember when GM got the bailout, guys? It was government motors. Now they brought it into the trust because there's 99-year leases, and that lease was up. So they went, quote unquote, bankrupt. Boy, Shady, fly GM, fly, Shady. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Yep.
Okay. So we are so over the target, folks. People DM you to say Matrixxx is bad. All right. All right. So that's why I got doxxed. That's right. I am Jeffrey Peterson. And the trolls don't even know how to spell my last name, so I guess that's okay. So, hey, Q, does P equal Payseur? When do we start to see the pain? So we got that. So basically, if GM doesn't do what Donald J. Trump wants him to do with making their Federal Reserve money come into our treasury, which is what we're going to talk about in a second with that EO, that you are going to die like the rest. If you guys are going to stay in the United States of America and body politic trust, you're going to die.
You're going to go down with the democracy.
That's right. And die means your company's going to, starve. Okay. So
you're not participating in the future.
Yes. GM equals General Motors or government motors because Obama put them back in the trust. Payseur companies, original Payseur companies. Here they are, guys. General Electric Company, GE, which is GE Healthcare. GM is General Motors.
And General Motors was, quite a long time ago. They were making engines before they were making cars.
And notice that Ford isn't on there, folks. There's a very specific, and notice Ford is the only one that paid back their bailout because they didn't want to go into the trust, guys. Think logically. He was also he didn't like what they called the quote unquote Zionists, Mr. Ford. So this is Q's post from Iron Belly, RIP Federal Reserve. Who really owns the Federal Reserve, guys? The Payseur companies, the Charleston, Cincinnati, and Chicago Railroad Company are the parent companies for the Federal Reserve.
And they would also include massive telecoms like AT&T and Western Union.
Right. And so this is yes, AT&T, Western Union, Shady. I mean, almost damn near every company that's on the stock exchange.
almost every iron works, steel works, factory works, anything you can imagine, textile production. I mean, you name it. Those companies were involved in this.
Justin Doherty says, in the Matrix, don't worry about the docs. Everyone will know your name when you're invited to the White House. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. Love it. Then listen to the article that Q posted us to. This scheme essentially merges the Fed and Treasury into one organization. So meet your new Fed chairman, Donald J. Trump. So the Payseurs used to talk to the Fed chairman. P equals C. The chair serves the master.
Right.
Who is the master? The Payseur Trust equals C. The chairman. The chairman is the master of the Payseur assets, folks. And P equal Powell. No, that's the chair. Whoever the chair of the Federal Reserve is the chair and the master of the Payseur Trusts, the big trustee, if you will.
Correct.
So
in other words,
your
president is now the chair of the Fed.
So P equals C. Now P equals the Treasury of the United States of America and your president, Mr. Donald J. Trump.
And that is United lowercase, United States of America, the republic, not the democracy. You see this, how they've switched. We just brought $6 trillion out off of the Fed's bankrolls, book sheets, into the real economy, into the Treasury, with all of the tariffs that are supposed to fund your country. Our country is supposed to be funded by tariffs from foreign goods, not by income of its people.
Yeah. D. Landry says, who are the Springsteens? Springs and Springsteins and
same.
Well, they're Rothschilds. Yeah. So remember, there is a fight for these trusts. Okay. The Rothschilds are trying to keep them into their Fed, quote, grip control, because they are the worker bees for where the money came from, which are the Payseurs. The Payseur Trust is called the United States of America and Body Politic. We are called these United States of America.
And we have Kevin Cross in the audience is saying, please remind some of the QArmy that the QArmy is worldwide. I've gotten messages saying Q only cares for USA.
Oh, yeah.
I remind them it's a plan to save the world, not just USA. You are patriots who have louder voice than I. And thank you, Kevin, for answering people and helping people understand that. But it is true. But this has to be organic. It has to work in sequence. We have to be an example for people in the rest of the world to see who we really are, so that they can demand a change in their government. Just remember, America is the only country on the face of the earth where you can protect your gold with a gun.
That's right. QArmy worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. WW is a Q-ism. And let me give you a quick stat. Let me give you a quick statistic. 126 countries go to intheMatrixxx with 3x's.com. Worldwide. That's about as worldwide as you can get, Shady.
Everyone is included in this conversation, but everyone also has to recognize that the government of corruption, the system of corruption, it's our problem.
Right.
Each country, it's your problem. You've got to make people aware. You've got to care about it. You've got to talk about it. You got to like the people that are attacked the most are the people that say the unusual stuff.
Let me give you a really interesting and simple analogy. Let's say the Federal Reserve in America is Sports Illustrated. It's a magazine. You can get this magazine in the US. It's called Sports Illustrated. But then you can go over to New Zealand and get the New Zealand Sports Illustrated. They have central banks there. The same Sports Illustrated has their, you see what I'm saying? So you can get an Australian version of Sports Illustrated. You can get probably a Czech version of Sports Illustrated. You can get a Brazilian Sports Illustrated. You can get a name, insert any country worldwide Sports Illustrated, except for 1-2 countries that aren't on the Federal Reserve System, which are North Korea and Iran, and used to be Venezuela. But Venezuela got monies from the Federal Reserve. So it's the owls, follow the owls around the world. There's an owl, if you are worldwide. There's an owl on the, and you don't know, there's an owl on the back of the US dollar bill. The owls could be the Federal Reserve, guys. So this is why it's worldwide. This monetary system stems from here globally.
And we're trying to set the example. We're trying to be the beacon of light, the hope, honor, respect, patriotism. It all exists in your heart. You all love the people that you're around, no matter what country you're in. You love your fellow citizens, right? You love the people. You're not so excited about the government processes and the entities that control all the levers.
Yeah.
So the people have to be awakened and then unbrainwashed, and then they have to stand up for freedom.
That's right. Lucas Primerano, yes, Italiano. Where we go, when we go all. What is Nicera? Jacera? It's Shady. Why don't you take that? We're getting that a lot. This is a Nicera. Okay. It was then moved to Jacera. Right. But then I want to move into some other things that I can show you that our president is doing after this. We get this question a lot. Shady, take it.
Yeah. So the Nicera, Jacera, those are referencing the freedom aspects of our country and the returning of the wealth. What you're seeing right now is what we just did with this $6 trillion deal, is moving the wealth back into the treasury. This is my opinion, that the stuff that's been talked about the Jacera out there, the Global Economic Resurrection Act, all this stuff is about repatriating the monetary wealth of America, which would mean what could be considered an American reset. Some people are speculating a global reset on debt, starting to not use interest in debt, eliminating debt, and having money again. Recognize that you are currently a debtor in your system of government and finance. We are trying to make people creditors. In other words, if banks want to borrow money, they borrow it from us, not us borrowing money from them. That's backwards. It's completely topsy-turvy on its head.
Right.
So those different things aren't necessarily plugging directly into Q, but inadvertently they absolutely are, because we know as people who've studied finance that the credit is debt and the debt is no value fiat currency. So we have to turn that around and make value the currency, not debt the currency. That may help explain it, or it may have made it worse.
Yeah. And, Bill Clinton signed Nicera, so that sounds very deep state-ish to me. But let's not get confused. Let's just look at what's actually happening right now, okay? The president, let's follow the pen, guys. The president is actually signing into law. Here's another P. The president is actually signing into law monies that are going from the Federal Reserve Bank into the Treasury. Okay? So what does that mean, Shady? That means that we are taking their money and putting it into the Treasury. Now, that's $2.2 trillion, and the president keeps saying 6.2 total.
Mm-hmm. And so like, just think
trillion.
Think about it like it's your, okay, so think about it like it's your checkbook, okay? So we're basically taken, you're the Federal Reserve, okay? And the Federal Reserve has just increased the debt by $6 trillion, or $2 trillion to start with. So their debt number just went up, right? But the money went into the Treasury, which means the country is a net plus.
Yes.
Remember, Federal Reserve is an independent operating organization outside the purview of any jurisdiction on planet Earth. None. There is no jurisdiction over this entity other than the cabal bankers that run it. We've just made them add $6 trillion to their balance sheet of debt they're holding against us, and took that money and put it into the Treasury, which is ours, the people. So we have forced them to take that money off of their bank sheets and hand it directly back to you, the people. And there's lots of speculation about what's going on with this. This could be a monthly thing. This could increase. Who knows what's going to happen? But the idea, the fact that I know it's convoluted, but the fact that this money is going into the Treasury is the plan. Okay, I mean, get that
Boom.
through your thick head. It's the plan. The plan is to get your money back in the treasury, to make the finances of America solvent off of tariffs, not your income. Your income doesn't do anything except for fund black ops and corruption and cronyism.
Right, and that's why our president moved the tax day to, what was it, July? Shady?
Yep, 3 months, a 90-day delay.
90-day delay. So there's there's a 90 in Q posts too.
Might go away completely.
Yeah, and so that's so they can't fund their frickin' scams. Follow
Correct.
the pen. Who wants to sign those individual checks? Whose signature wants to be on those checks? Donald J. Trump's. So if we understand the Treasury Secretary's role since 1932 when we went bankrupt, and the Treasury Secretary's role at that time was to mitigate the bankruptcy between the United States of America, we the people, and the Federal Reserve Bank system, the Payseur banks, guys.
To give them power.
To give them power.
And,
okay.
and our money went, they stepped in. Gold traded for $20 an ounce forever. Whenever they decided to do the buyback, they offered everybody $10 an ounce. So they paid everybody $10 an ounce for all the gold. Okay. Then they collected it all, remelted it all down. And then all of a sudden, look what happened to the price of gold. As soon as the Fed got control of it, by 1971, the dollar was completely off the gold standard. And right now you're looking at gold at around $1,500 an ounce. Your commodities increased at the same rate. In other words, your commodities aren't valued relative to gold. They're valued relative to a dollar. Big difference.
Huge. Now, let's look at what's happening now. What's happening right now, Shady, with, boy, I tell you, there's a lot of issues. The shelves are bare.
Right.
They're finding ventilators in warehouses.
Right.
Barr just signed and President Trump just signed a EO in regards to hoarding, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that has anything to do with taking over the system?
I do.
How about you guys out there?
I do. I think it's some sort of move to root out the corruption, because I think we just handed them a big fat present with a Trojan horse in it.
That's right. So I did a little research, Shady, on some Q-isms.
Yes.
Fly, Roth's fly.
Yes.
Do you know what a fly is? A fly,
in financial terms?
Yeah. A fly spread is a trading term used for hedging when trading. It requires buying and selling of highly correlated assets in correct ratios to each other. An example of a fly would be going long in the front month, short in the second month, and long in the furthest month in the ratio of -1, +1, -2, +1. So it's a way of making money, guys. Understand. These guys understand everything. Fractional reserve trading. They understand everything, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. Let me see if I've got a. Let's see. This is fishing. So did you know fishing is fun, guys? Fishing is fun. So the Rothschilds keep their banking dynasties intact as they take reigns, and basically Rothschilds. Let's see, fishing. It's an abbreviation for first in, still here. And the term is a tongue-in-cheek reference to first in, first out accounting method. It refers to a company that keeps its inventory for a long time. We're seeing that ventilators are being found in warehouses. A company
almost like stuff being stored in warehouses in Puerto Rico too, huh?
That's right. Fishing is fun. So a lot of times it could be because of poor sales, but ultimately this may render inventory obsolete. So then they've got insurance for said inventory that they're basically hiding. A company dealing with fish may be near or in financial trouble, but Baron Rothschild said he likes to buy when there's blood in the streets and when people are fearful. Pretty interesting, right, guys?
What do you think about that in reference to fly, Ross fly, or fishing is fun? financial terms. We've got more for you.
That's right. And they thought she would never lose means that they hedged their bets. Let me just double check this. This is the Global Ambition. This is an interesting article. I'm going to actually put this into a thread here soon, so stay tuned for that. Let me go into this real quick. This is the Rothschild dynasty, which obviously works for the Payseurs and tries to control the banking system dynasty intact. But they thought she would never lose. So I clicked the wrong link again. Dang it. Let's see. These guys have tried to hedge their bets on like announcements of basically looking at, like, let's say Hillary was going to win. So they hedged their bets on Hillary, for their financial bets on Hillary. They walk down the street. They will never be able to walk down the streets. Could mean these people, the Wall Street. So
they can never have their companies on the street again.
That's
Wall
right.
Street.
That's right.
Just like what we were just saying about the companies that weren't going to participate or decided to die with the democracy.
That's right. And remember when all those companies back in the truth, like 1999, 2000, there was a lot of companies that, those companies will die like the rest, Shady. Mess with the best, die like the rest. Those companies in the 2000s, here's how it kind of works. So company A is the main company. Let's say it's for example, let's say it's GE Medical, right? So GE Medical makes a bunch of machines. They set up another company, a shell company, that buys said machines, maybe a bunch of them, puts them in a warehouse. So GE Medical gets the credit of a sale, and it goes into said warehouse. Either they take the win on Wall Street because they did really good, wow, their numbers look great, and then maybe the next month or quarter, that shell company either RMAs, which is Return Material Authorization, gives it back, and or wait for that medical equipment to go obsolete, and they had that insured, and the insurance companies pay them for said obsolete equipment. So there's a couple of ways. So think about that. One shell company times 3, 4, 5. That's how they were doing it in the 99s and 2000s. And that's why I think we found ventilators in New York, Shady.
Yeah, and I think that's why we passed this big spending bill as well, so that we can see what they do with it. Like we've already had them. They gave 25 million to the Kennedy Center, and immediately they gave 5 million of the 25 to the DNC and fired the whole orchestra.
That's right.
So now, then the president appointed John Voight and Mike Huckabee to be the directors.
And that was a year ago, by the way.
Oh, that was?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Also, so it's like founding father Amschel Rothschild's son, Nathan Meyer Rothschild, is reputed to have made a fortune by buying British government bonds in anticipation of like a Napoleon defeat. So they bought government bonds or sold government bonds thinking that she was going to win. Now we see BlackRock, enter BlackRock. You've heard BlackRock. Yes. They are now mitigating the bankruptcy of the Federal Reserve into your treasury, folks.
That's exactly right. They are the ones in charge, or the executor of the bankruptcy.
So think of it this way. The Treasury Secretary was mitigating the bankruptcy of the United States to the Federal Reserve Bank companies. Now, BlackRock, who is a Goldman Sachs company and a really big company, they're going to mitigate the bankruptcy of them, the Federal Reserve System, the Payseur Trust. And if you don't get out of that trust, you're going to be exposed. Now, let's think bridge. President Donald J. Trump, how do you fix a bridge? This is Q. How do you fix a bridge without shutting it down? So the bridge loans are going to be used for companies. Remember, the airline industries were very, very reluctant to these bridge loans because they have to be paid back. How do they get paid back, Shady? Real money, in our money.
Real money.
Right. So they have to pay back the loan in our money, not this debt fake crap currency. So our president is trying to give these trust companies a bridge to come into our treasury.
Yeah, basically just saying you can get off the train before it goes through the tunnel.
That's right.
But once it goes through the tunnel, getting off the train is not an option, Maggie.
That's right. Real money, Fiona. Real money.
Money and equity. Let's not forget the equity stake that he's demanding within the disagreement as well with these different huge companies. He's demanding an equity stake, whereas by the Treasury gets a piece of it, which is you.
Yeah.
You're going to get a piece. So whenever we nationalize things like Google and Amazon, right, or Microsoft, all these different companies like that are going to have to fall into this fold, just like GE and GM. It's just not their time yet. Right now, we're working on this medical front with the coronavirus, but this is going to snowball in an exact pattern down the line of all major corporations. This, to me, looks like a way to make them weak, shutting down the whole economy. Nobody's traveling right now. Everybody is at home paying attention. Every person that tunes in your president sees that he's not a raging racist.
That's
pretty
right.
quickly, if you're at all objective. Okay. Otherwise, I mean, if you're orange man bad in your head, you're orange man bad in your head. You're going to be like that probably till,
Well, I've got a lot of people that are changing, Shady.
That were completely orange man bad that are changing?
Yes.
That's a great sign then.
Yes. They're actually like, I'm actually impressed with how he's handling it. I don't like him, but
you could not like. I usually don't like the people I work for.
I don't either, really, man.
So it's like that's why I like working for myself, is because I don't like to work for people. So bosses are not always someone to like.
Right.
It's whether or not they do a good job and are acting professionally and responsibly.
That's right. And so then we have our president talk about Loop Capital, right? And we think it's Loop Capital, which very well could be. Right. Loop Capital is out of Chicago. Obama has ties to it and whatnot. We also have, there's a Reynolds bloodline as CEO of it. But what if Loop Capital is something different? What if Loop Capital is like circular reporting, circular capital? Financing solutions to transition and a circular economy, you see? And I have to do a little bit more digging on this, but, you Google stuff like, FLY, finance term, this is reduce the use of fossil fuels. This is about circular reporting as well and circular financing. And circular manufacturing, for example, it's T minus 0 reporting. So T equals 0 on circular manufacturing. And circular manufacturing is $2 trillion in annual U.S. revenues. And that's generated by circular manufacturing.
Loop. Another financial term.
Right. So that's kind of, some of the things that I've been doing. Also, we talked about speed, Shady.
That was going to say, yeah, that was speed as well.
So let's look at speed and Rothschild. You get a book here out of Google, and it says, and what do we have waiting out in the harbor right now? We have a bunch of ships. We have shortage of supply chain. We have issues with masks and respirators.
Interruptions in
and we have interruptions in our supply chain. So Mr. Rothschild, speeds would vary according to trade routes. What is our president fixing? Trade routes.
Yep.
From China. We got that with the tariffs. We got the trade routes between Canada, U.S., and Mexico.
Newly reestablished trade routes with India and the EU.
That's right. So speeds would vary according to the trade routes and according to the way in which those trade routes are being served. For example, 28.5 knots was determined as the commercial speed when it was done under the basis that being the speed of the competition, which was the Queen's. Today, the imminence of a French line ship at 31 knots. So they... and the existence of a United States at 30.7 knots, we face a different picture on competition. Was speed established to control the markets and enter into the fractional reserve banking to give these asshats competition advantage and market advantage and control advantage, guys?
Absolutely.
So I think our president is actually fixing everything that they broke. Our founding fathers wanted us to be self-sufficient and help other countries, but do not entangle in their governments. We have been doing exactly the opposite, folks.
110% the opposite.
So our president, according to the Constitution, is supposed to deal with trade and make money for the United States from other companies, which means tariffs. We're not supposed to give away everything. Derp. We're supposed to have jobs here in the United States. So Sparky, who works at his job, and let's say Horton's there, has a job making brooms. Like he's the head of the broom making company. So Sparky can buy a broom and Horton can buy whatever Sparky's making in his company. You know, this is what the American dream is about, guys.
Right, and you can hold value in each other's commodities.
That's right.
You know, like that's the whole point of it.
Yeah, so Kelly says, are we going to lose our homes? Absolutely not. We are going to be, so what I think we're getting is kind of a rebate in a way, Shady. And I think more rebates are to come. And we're saying, okay, we got $6.2 trillion in total with the pen that our president used, right? The pen. So the pen is going to kind of give us a rebate. The companies are going to be in charge of paying that back. So then we've got the Corona Wuhan virus, and that will put the reparations that we will get from China that will just basically erase that debt scot-free.
It doesn't exist. Interest on money is a sham. It's created. It's BS. It's bogus. It doesn't really exist. It's the con.
That's right. The big con.
You used to be able to, you used to not have any thought of debt. You wanted a car, you go buy a car.
Right.
You want a house, you go buy a house. You didn't have debt. Remember It's a Wonderful Life and that story. Go back and think about in your mind about what that story is and what it says. That's a representation of the very beginning of Americans having had their wealth stolen and having to go to a bank and ask for a loan. Before that, no American would be caught dead going to a bank and asking for a loan. It meant that you weren't doing anything productive to make something of yourself.
So let's take another Q post, Shady. You were just talking about stealing stuff, right? What if I told you there was a Geronimo Rothschild?
I would believe you.
It's actually not
only
loading.
because we've already done that.
Right. Geronimo Rothschild is a managing director at Goldman Sachs in Switzerland. All right. And I thought that was interesting. So there's Geronimo Rothschild, managing director, Goldman Sachs. Geronimo is in a Q post, no?
Yes, it is.
So let's go look at stealing wealth. So the Nazi looted Rothschild art to MFA was very interesting. This is a article here. Yeah, of course, I can't frickin' read it because of this stupid stuff. Essentially, let me go into a incognito window, guys. Hang on. Stand by 1 second. This is how you get around these things, guys. You open up an incognito window, and you drop the link in there, and I'm going to paste it and go. And lo and behold, I don't have... Oh, I do have issues. Huh, even in the incognito window. All right, stand by. Stand by. There's a login code apparently being sent to me. Anyways, when they were stealing this information, Shady, they said Geronimo. I don't know if anybody can grab it and picture it. Mods, I don't know if... let me drop the link in for you. So Geronimo is about looting art, guys. Looting heirs. Their trove of their artworks was stolen, and etc. Here's the link, guys. If anybody can get a screen grab of that, kind of on the live thing, it's a little harder to do. I had it open on the phone. Let me see on the iPhone. Hold on 1 second, guys. Bear with me. But isn't it interesting that now we got Rothschild, Shady? And Geronimo?
Yeah, it plugs right in, it seems.
Right. So the Boston Globe, earlier today, I could read it. Now I can't read it, Shady. Very interesting, right?
They only want you to read it once a day, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. So so what I'm doing now is, now that we understand, so fly Roths fly, Fiona, we want to go back to that Q post and find out what they did in as far as their investments. What if I were to tell you that Red October also leads to Rothschild? So Red October is basically a book, The Revolution That Changed the World, Red October. And basically, this person was employed by a Rothschild-owned refinery in Batumi, Georgia's second city and largest port, where he suspected sabotage and fire broke out. And just very interesting that a Rothschild would be labeled here. And didn't we get some sort of confirmation about the oil company, Shady? We found the Red October oil. Was it oil or steel? I can't remember. But it's just very interesting when you start plugging in anything that says, a Q post that says, let's do one off the cuff, Shady. What's a Q term, Shady, that we could use?
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah. What's another movie? Red October Steel. That's
Bourne?
right, Jeff. Thank you. BOURN.
E?
E?
I think so.
I don't know if we'll get something on that. Let's just see. That's interesting, right?
I just popped in my head. You said let something pop in. That jumped in.
Yeah. The Bourne. Let's see. Feeding the gorgeous and danger. Bourne versus Steel. Rothschild. There's a Bourne versus Steel group. Seal. Had something to do with Rothschild in here. Control F.
Another movie name was Sum of All Fears that we talked about, kind of relative to this.
Look at Rothschild Heart. Rothschild. So that's that. I don't know if that means anything, guys, but Paris' own author, the latest Bourne Dominion, feeding the gorgeous endangered Rothschild giraffes. I'm finding stuff, guys.
Well, another one that we talked about yesterday was Sum of All Fears, and we discussed how that the Rothschilds would buy when there's blood in the street.
Yeah.
The sum, the added up total, the sum of all fears.
Right. So blood. I have that article over here, I think.
When there's fear, sum of all fears is good for business.
Yes. Let me get up to that one. Where is that? Well, Oh, and Godfather also is interesting. Let me do the Sum of All Fears. Let me find that one. Where did I find that? They bought when there was blood in the streets, right? Let's see. Is this it here? Let me see. This could be it. Let's see. FBLOOD. Nope, that's not. There was the article. I thought I had it up here, Shades.
I thought you breezed through it a second ago. You might have closed it down.
I'm in
I
the.
had it up too.
Could be in this one. Let's see. No. Maybe I went to another one. But just blood in the streets. Sum of all fears. Blood. They like buying when there's fear and panic. It's good to set up in the right direction. Close. Let me see if blood is here. Nope. So anyway, so this is the live dig. I just started it the other night. I couldn't sleep. And just was like, Shady, look at this stuff, man. Holy moly. The founding father, let's see, there's something about Godfather in here too, I think.
Yeah, there was a few. Well, yeah, there was.
Where's the Godfather one? Legacy, family links to Nazi experiments, forced credit unions out of business.
The Godfather one was founding father's son, Nathaniel, reputed having made fortune buying British government bonds in anticipation of Napoleon's defeat. Godfather.
Right. Google. So let's just go to, Google. And let's do Godfather, and Rothschild, who manages the Payseur Trust, right? So there's Hyman Roth. Let's see. That's from the book Godfather Part 3. There's Amschel Rothschild, who his wife there, godparents to daughter of politician William Waldegrave, who is godfather to James Rothschild. So there's Rothschild-Godfather linkage. And here's Blue Sky, Twitter, Godfather 3, Rothschild loan to the Holy See. That's right. That's right. And you even see that they are Godfather, the real-life Godfather. He's currently chairman of the board of the Nord Stream AG, having been hired as a global manager. Investment bank by Rothschild. So just very interesting, right? There's Lexi Rothschild. Godfather of British show. So this is a dig that I kind of started, guys. And you guys can...
Seems very relevant.
Yeah. So the bottom line, the long and the short of this is President Trump is taking over the banking cartel. There's a screenshot of it in here. Right. And here we go. This is Geronimo in regards to Rothschild. Geronimo is the message that Matthew Lorem cabled his mother-in-law as the train carrying hundreds of the Rothschild family's artworks barreled through the Austrian Alps into Switzerland. It was 1949, and for much of the previous decade, Hitler's army had kept the family's treasure hostage, quote unquote, allegedly, right? Stashing roughly 35,000 of its art objects in salt mines, with some booty designed for the dictator's proposed mega museum, the Führer Museum. But we all know now that Hitler was a Rothschild. The family triumphed was incomplete, while many pieces were indeed on the train. Some of the family's Nazi looted works were never recovered, right? So very interesting that Geronimo leads into who they financed, Adolf Hitler, Switzerland. Just interesting, no?
Very interesting, in my opinion, because it all connects back to exactly what we're seeing right now with the reorganization of the trust. And for people to start thinking about buying bonds again and having trusts and those different ways and means of managing financial instruments. No, we no longer have access to those things because we don't have any money. We're just debtor. We're dead. We're considered dead at sea the moment you get a birth certificate.
Yep.
The president is currently rescuing all of us and trying to get us off the sea and onto the land. Kind of interesting correlation between these massive ships, the Mercy and the Comfort, right?
That's right.
Are we bringing America back on the land because we've been adrift at sea, considered lost at sea, and dead regarding our birth certificate contract?
That's right. It's so amazing. I mean, loan to the Holy See, we had that, right? We have the Rothschilds. We have Godfather. Look at the criminal Godfather, Mayer Amschel Rothschild, the 5 sons. So here we go. So the Rothschilds own Reuters and the Associated Press, the 2 biggest news media agencies in the world. Remember, Q just said, if this was controlled, guys, remember, which naturally have stayed subservient to their masters. Propaganda talking points, albeit with clever twist to what seems like objectivity, which it is totally not. The Rothschilds have been controlling the share in Royal Dutch Oil because she's a Payseur, if you want to know. The so-called Bank of England, which in reality should be called the Bank of Rothschilds, aka Payseur, as part of their original 5 European banking branches, because they managed it. They managed the trust, and then looted it as well, I'm sure, right? So original 5 banking branches of London, Paris, Frankfurt, Vienna, and Naples, as exhibited by the Rothschild 5 arrows coat of arms, symbolizing the 5 sons of the criminal godfather, Mayer Amschel Rothschild, who lived from 1744 to 1812 in Frankfurt. Still the finance capital of the Federal Republic of Germany. That's why Germany is so resistant with Angela Merkel, aka German Hillary. Pretty interesting.
And did you see that the German the German finance minister committed suicide over the weekend?
That's right. I saw that. I tweeted it out. Back to the Past, 2004 magazine ranked Mayer Amschel the original godfather of the criminal crime family back in the 18th and 19th century. And then there's another godfather here. The criminal Rothschild famously said, "Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes her laws. Whoever continues to control the monetary system of the world will, in effect, control the policies, laws, globally speaking." What is the Rothschild strategy in achieving this? One of the preliminary measures of incorporating the global currency seems to be the destruction of all currencies around the globe in order to justify its inception. And now you have the chair of the Federal Reserve is now your president of the United States, bringing the money back for you and our country, folks. This is a huge boom. Shady Grooove.
I agree 110%. It's an amazing time to be alive. I've never in my life expected that we would find ourselves on the verge of toppling the world criminal, Kabbalistic banking structure that enslaves humanity. Period.
That's right. And
that's what's happening.
And D. Landry says Vatican is owned by Rothschild. Yes, they did the transaction, but it was Payseur trust money. That's what we've got to understand. They don't
own anything.
They don't own anything.
It's a trust. They are
trustees.
Trustees, or they are what's the other? There's another word that they use, but they're not. They're beneficiaries or subsidiaries. They're not the owners of anything. They take a 5% stake of whatever is produced.
Lisa Royer.
Feed the eye. It all feeds the eye.
All feeds the eye. Lisa Royer. This goes right into what you're saying, Shady. How can that be if we have a $26 trillion debt? I'm not claiming that. That's not my debt, Lisa. Is it yours? Shady, what about this $26 trillion debt?
Let me tell you about this $26 trillion.
Good question, Lisa.
Let's make it 30. Let's make it 35. We have just established that the Federal Reserve has no connection to your country whatsoever. None, zip, zero, nada. So, therefore, if this corrupt cabal of criminal banking cartel elite people eaters says you owe them $26 trillion, are you willing to pay? Is it your money, or is it just the interest that they charged you for us allowing them the privilege to store our gold?
Boom.
Think logically, guys. You do not owe them an interest on your money. It is your money. You're the real owners of this. It was stolen from you fraudulently. Therefore, the contract that is fraudulently written against you is null and void. Your president is working diligently to prove this to the world, everyone.
Yes.
So, yes, we do not owe them, and no country owes them, guys. Countries in Africa do not owe them. Countries in Europe do not owe them.
It's
Australia
crap.
does not owe them. Japan does not owe them. The IMF is a facade. It's all predicated on this head of the snake, this cartel. That's what we're trying to say. Like, you don't owe them anything.
That's right. Carminda Bredetel says, who are the beneficiaries? Well, you are now. You, because it's going into the trust of the Treasury. Our trust, guys. The beneficiaries are about 6,000 people. Carminda. About 6,000 people. It's them that are the beneficiaries. Now, this is the Lewis Cass Payseur. This is the Springs talking about this is the most hidden entity in the whole world. The age of tech has hurt their ability to hide and control, guys. Here's the original trust, the Payseur Trust, the Virginia company. They are now exposed, folks. The Payseurs have gone to extreme lengths, including hiring like the Springs to track and change their assets, deeds to the railroads to their name. Springfield, Shady, Grooove. Who's a Spring? We got Lincoln. Heinz Carey.
Springsteen.
Yeah, Heinz and Carey. He is actually a Payseur, Springsteen. Yep. Bruce, that's right. More on Payseur. All the Council on Foreign Relations are member companies. This is interesting right here. The Rothschilds are one of the most well-known of the 13 families. David Smith of Portland was asked to prepare an article on the Rothschilds for this newsletter. His article is follows. Satan's selective breeding program has been continuing down through the ages, hidden from the eyes of the public. One of the most powerful Rothschild bloodline families are the Springs. The Springs were originally the Springs Steins. When they came to America in the mid-1700s and settled in New York and New Jersey, they later changed their name from Springsteen to Springs to hide their identity. Leroy Springs was hired by L.C. Payseur. Let me read that again. Leroy Springs was hired by L.C. Payseur. Rothschild, hired by. Boom. Got it?
Boom.
Now, most Americans have to ask, who is L.C. Payseur? Well, who is he? They've been so powerful that they could hide their wealth and power and use other satanic families as proxies. The Payseurs are part of the top 13 Illuminati bloodline. They're Merovingians, folks. The first Payseur to come to America was former Crown Prince of France, Daniel Payseur. He came on about 1805 in the U.S. and married Susanna Kisser. In 1814, they had 2 boys, Adam and Jonas. Jonas married Henrietta Smith, and they had Louis Cass Payseur. It was this Louis Cass Payseur who hired the Rothschild bloodline of the Springs to run a number of the Payseur companies. The Payseurs were one of the original big railroad families, along with Isaac Krum, William Beatty. Isaac Krum's wife was a sister to William Beatty. So the readers can see now how all of these elite bloodlines intertwine, folks. And I've got the article here. Charleston, Cincinnati, Chicago is the parent of Iron Eagle, a.k.a. Federal Reserve. George Bush is a Payseur.
Clinton's.
Hey.
What? Bill.
Shady. Stop it.
Yeah.
Don't
Bill,
tell.
what's your real last name?
Don't tell.
Bill, is it Payseur or Payseur?
It's Clinton.
Clint, it's not Clinton.
Where does the money come from? In March 1913, the Peugeot company finds real money in the Payseur Trust. And they were afraid that the national banks, guys, in the great cities were exceeding their charter powers, even extended into foreign countries. Now, Peugeot is probably the Peugeot of France, not Peugeot. Remember back then, we couldn't figure out names. Here's the 1913. We knew about it then. There was a committee in the House Resolutions 429 and 504 to investigate the concentration and control of money and credit. There are your Peugeot stock images. Those are the guys that investigated it. A lot of hidden hands there, huh?
Sure are.
Yeah.
Do you trust their investigation techniques?
Do you trust this guy?
No.
He's got a hidden hand, doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
Vanderbilt, Schiff, Rockefeller.
Does the hidden hand by any chance represent the invisible enemy?
Yes.
Oh, LIB.
Jacob Schiff, who could be related to a Schiff that we know. Unless we have a central bank with adequate control of credit resources, this country is going to undergo the most severe and far-reaching money panic in its history. See, they were trying to protect us. They were trying to protect us. The Payseur and other Illuminati families are all immediately involved in the rise of power to the Rockefellers. Do you understand that he's a trustee? You guys are getting this now, right?
Trustees.
Nobody else is getting this. We need you to go on to other shows. There was a show that was on the other day that said, I don't know what PNC is. So guys, we need your help. We've been so attacked that those very same shows probably attacked us because they even used corrupted, let me just quickly, corrupted congressional records. Guys, this is it.
You mean Nixon tried to erase the Payseur name from the congressional record?
That was him. That was Richard Nixon.
No.
I am not a crook, Shady.
I don't know.
I am not a crook. And then I want to quickly.
Not on Roger Stone's back.
I want to show real quick. I was trying to actually find one thing, which was the. I wanted to find the. Here it is, right here. The Rothschilds, 1832 loan to the Holy See. I wanted to show you this. There's a lot of research in this, guys, and there's a lot of people that haven't seen it.
I understand that.
Right. And so this is it. This is the romance of the Rothschild. This is in regards to the Holy See and buying the Vatican. In the meantime, Baron Rothschild had begun to regulate the financial condition of other Italian states. Amongst other things, Jewish financier liquidated a loan for the supreme head of Christendom, the Bishop of Rome, the papal government had in 1834. Under the rules of Gregory XVI 16 of the capillary family, converted a 5% state loan into 3% bonds. This earlier 5% loan had originally been negotiated by the Rothschild in conjunction with the Italian banking business of Torlonia for a papal sites. The papal treasurer, however, Cardinal Tosti, now wished he would have had the loan floated in Paris apart from the Rothschild, and traveled to the city in order to enter the personal relations with the Parisian bankers without consulting the Rothschilds. So the Parisian bankers gave the Rothschilds the money, and the Rothschilds took a little percentage of it. You guys understand that, right? The Parisian bankers would be, who would that be, Shady?
That would be them.
Yeah. The 6 leading banking houses at Paris, Hagerman, André Descartes, Fauld et Oppenheimer, Blanc, Collier, EC, Odier et C, and Wells et C, formed an alliance for the purpose of breaking the autocratic power of the Rothschilds in arranging for the first French loan to the Sardinian government, which they managed to model the city of Paris lottery. These allied bankers won the small set of deals. They snatched businesses out of the hands of the Rothschilds, so there's a power grab going at that time as well. But this is the long and the short of it. This he did. The negotiations were all conducted in the name of the Associated Bankers of Paris, but the names of the bankers were not mentioned. Payseur.
Trust.
Do you trust the plan, guys? Who controls the Fed?
Is it a beautiful plan?
Who approved the formation of the Fed? Who really is the Fed, guys? We found it out. GE, railroad companies, they sold their 111-year-old rail business recently, guys. Okay, so Shady, I think that's a pretty good dig there. Share it, check it out, whatever you guys want to do. But I think we're going to go to final thoughts here. But the letter of the day today is P, like Payseur. Shady.
I want to maybe try real quick to grab the screen share here for a second. See if this works.
I can't.
Can you relinquish it?
No, because I don't. It doesn't work that way.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm sending. Oh, here, I dropped the link. See this link?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Grab
Shady.
that.
Because
Okay.
Zoom doesn't work on OBS for whatever reason.
Oh, I forgot. That's right. We got to get that straightened out. Okay, so scroll down here just a little bit.
Yep.
We can go through this together.
This is about tariffs.
Yeah. So top one right there, the blue. They don't want you seeing that. Click that to show.
Wow, they do have it hidden. Show.
Oh, they don't want you seeing this, brother. You go to Wiki. This tells a hell of a story. Okay, so we're looking at this. We're seeing the historical tariffs, customs tax collections by the federal government, dollar amount going back to 1792. Now let's just take a look and let's see what we're seeing here. In 1792,
Making some good money.
all right, we had income tax, none collected, payroll tax, none collected, tariffs 15%. Scroll down, you see the tariffs, they kind of go down, then they come up 35%, 22%. You're still seeing what? No income tax, no payroll tax. Look at this. Look at the dates here that go down as you scroll. 1850, 1860, 1875. Still, look at that. No income tax. Then we got $61 collected in 1865. Oh, goodness.
Well, that might be 61.
But look at
thousand.
Or 61 million, I meant to say.
Yeah.
So look at the see the percentage, 44%, 36%. That's percent that we were charging in tariffs.
Wow.
The country was initiated to run off of tariffs. And as you scroll down, 1913. What happened in 1913, Matrixxx?
Federal Reserve.
Jekyll Island.
Jekyll Island, yep.
That's right. So then as soon as they initiated the Federal Reserve, look what started to happen. There started to be tax against your income because they're taxing you on your income because they're taxing you for the privilege of using their notes.
Wow.
Okay?
Look at that,
So you
guys.
see what's happening.
And look at the tariffs go down.
And look at the tariffs go down right here on your right side. You're seeing the tariffs go to oh, free trade, quote unquote. Free trade means you pay. You understand that? Free trade means you pay the government, not our goods and services. The country was started on the concept that tariffs from the excellent goods made in America would sustain our government. The Federal Reserve was created, turned that on its head, stole all your money. By 1940, here you're starting to see 3 years after the Great Depression or 10 years after the Great Depression, look what is happening. You are being robbed blind, and you're sitting there taking it like a man.
Oh my God. And the talking heads are promoting this, guys. Are you going to drop the tariffs for China? Are you going to stop the tariffs? That's going to hurt America. No, you guys, man. Wow. We're going to get back up here where we're actually making money, guys.
They're speaking for China. They are freaking propping up China. That's who they're talking for.
China.
Talking for you. If they were talking for you, they would be saying levy tariffs against all of them and take away the income tax, because it's a fraudulent contract with the government, because they're not even, you don't even have the authority to contract with the Federal Reserve. You don't even have the authority. You have to have the middleman.
That, Shady, is a boom shakalaka, my friend. Everybody says, how was all this built in Washington, D.C. before taxes? It was built out of tariffs, guys, and real trade and what our founding fathers wanted, and we were hijacked. And yes, Jekyll Island was before 1913. It's actually when the act passed, but thank you for correcting that, my friend out there.
That's correct, but
you know what I'm saying. Yes, so the Federal Reserve Act. But no, we need to make sure if somebody mentioned it, they're right.
Absolutely.
But so here's how it worked, though. Jekyll Island, they had all the trustees come down to Jekyll Island,
including Jacob Schiff.
Oh, God. Astors, all of them, guys. So they tried to get it done through a Republican, and there were smart people out there that said, oh, the Republicans just want to work for the banks. It didn't pass. Then they said, oh, here's a Democrat, and it said it'll be bad for the banks, the banksters, because the American people hated the banksters, guys.
Still do.
Well,
I do anyway.
I mean, it seems like they love them because they're supporting a system that supports the frickin' banksters.
Yeah, a patriot is different than a bankster.
Right. So they passed it through a Democrat, guys, and in the middle of the night in 1913. And look at the difference. Look at 1913 before and look at 1913 after.
And think about the sinking of the Titanic the year before on April 15th. What day do you pay your taxes?
Wow.
The Titanic was the reason that this worked. The reason they were able, they tried the First National Bank, that didn't work. Tried the Second National Bank, and Andrew Jackson kicked their butts real good. Then they said, oh, we can't call it a national bank because Americans are too smart. They're going to understand what we're saying. We got to call it something. Oh, what do we think? Oh, let's call it the Federal Reserve. Oh, yeah. Then we'll take all their money away from them, and then they won't be able to think about what is really going on in their country because we just stole all their money, and they don't have any jobs, they don't have any wealth, they don't have any work, so they will be in the state of despotism forever. Like they're never going to be able to recover from this. They thought that they stole your country real good until the moment that Donald John Trump was elected president. They had you by the you-know-what.
Right, but they don't want you to see this, Shady. You are absolutely... Look at Wikipedia, Shady. Look at this crap, guys.
They hide it.
They hide it, folks. Also...
10 minutes to remember where the hell it was. I was like, where the hell was it?
Because they hid it, right? It's amazing. This is a little quick video on the bridge, right? How do you repair a bridge without closing it down? And you recall our... the Money Masters at 1996 kind of tells the story. They never mentioned the word Payseur. G. Edward Griffin never mentioned the word Payseur. I think we tell the best story here, my friend. But good primers. I have the book Creature from Jekyll Island. It's good. I have seen the Money Masters, Joseph. Yes, it's very good. Check it out for a good refresher. Very good post, Joseph. If you haven't seen it, you look at the Money Masters. It's 1996. It's a really good... what do you call it? Overview. But we took it to the next level, guys. This is about the bridge. We were talking about the air bridge has been used twice now. Once by, well, let's just watch it. This is Kiwi Patriot made this because we were talking last night. Let's check this video out real quick. Here we go. Let's see. Let's just go up to here. I don't have sound. There it is.
The indictment of Nicolas Maduro and his co-defendants alleges a conspiracy involving an extremely violent terrorist organization known as the Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, the FARC, and an effort to flood the United States with cocaine. Now, FARC
Listen for air bridge, guys.
Operating in Colombia. In 2017, the Colombians entered into a peace agreement with FARC, under which the overwhelming majority of FARC members laid down their arms and have been living within the political structure of Colombia. However, there is a dissident group of about 2,500 FARC members, and they have taken up on the border between Venezuela and Colombia. These FARC dissidents continue to be involved in drug trafficking and armed insurgency. They have obtained the support of the Maduro regime, who is allowing them to use Venezuela as a safe haven from which they can continue to conduct their cocaine trafficking and their armed insurgency. There's an area right on the border in Colombia, Norte de Santander, which is one of the primary cocaine-producing areas remaining in Colombia. The FARC gets this cocaine over into Venezuela and then is given safe haven by the regime to fly this cocaine from an area called Zulia near Lake Maracaibo up into Central America. Since 2016, this air bridge has been established and has grown fivefold in just those 4 years.
Here's our president.
It will be hopefully greeted with great fanfare because it's 3 weeks ahead of schedule. As you know, we formed a historic partnership with your companies to bring massive amounts of medical supplies from other countries to the United States, and you bring in big amounts. This morning, our first project, and we call it Air Bridge. It's Air Bridge, that's the name. And it was a flight that landed at JFK and contains nearly 2 million masks and gowns, over 10 million gloves, and over 70,000 thermometers. This is the first of 50 flights. We're going to have a total of 51 flights, and that will probably increase substantially. But at this moment, looks like about 51 flights. And these are big, great planes, and they are bringing a lot of equipment into our country. And also inter-country things too, but these are the 51 from outside. In the next 100 days, America will make or acquire 3 times more ventilators than we normally.
Very interesting, right? And that's this Q post here. This is 2938. It talks about logical question. It's a highly confidential, safeguarded product of the United States. Is it? So if a is it a highly confidential, safeguarded product of the United States government? If a product of the United States government, how did U.S. Australia know that it was listed inside the package? Think call to POTUS to prevent D-class sources and methods. If the U.S. government requests U.S. Australia +2 to spy and the campaign on America, and presidential pre-nominee POTUS-elect, is there a chain of command to approve such authorization? Chain of command... paper trail of the chain of command and umbrella spy metadata. But basically, this is how do you repair a bridge without closing it down? And air bridge was used twice. So I have a feeling that has to do with exactly kind of what we're talking about today, is repairing this system of delivery, the market system, the system that we've been talking about today, the control of the boats, the ships, the everything else. What do you think, Shady?
I think this is 100%.
Let me go to zoom out mode. Go ahead.
Yep, I think this is 100% what we're seeing. We're seeing the overthrow of the overlord.
Yes. Treason, sedition, corruption at the highest levels of government worldwide. How do you repair a bridge without closing it down? And let me go in and see if Kiwi has any comments.
Don't want the whole system destroyed, guys. We would like to have a functioning worldwide system without them, not tear everything apart.
Yeah.
Trying to get rid of them, right?
Exactly.
I mean, in theory, you know, though, if we're going to sit back and have the audacity to say that those who don't want to know can, well, that kind of means something, doesn't it?
That's right. We're going to fark them up. That's what everybody say. Fark.
It might mean that they're farked up.
Fark. So it's an open dig, and we're still looking for links. And remember the bridge loans that our president was talking about? Let's dig on this, guys. This is calls to digs to the great, brilliant patriots, guys. You guys are absolutely amazing and so smart.
You guys enjoyed the show today?
How are you guys enjoying this live dig?
17 if you enjoyed the show. Show them to me.
Let me see some 17s.
Roll, baby.
Let me see. So essentially, coming back to the Constitution, you, in my opinion, are the keystone, which is our federal Constitution. Our government, our president, is supposed to be the subnational resource governance and global resource governance, not outsource us to global governance.
Thank you. Yes, we'd like to hire the president to do the job. That's the guy we voted for. Kind of trust him.
Look at those 17s. Thank you so much. Wow.
We would like to also have the option to not have to vote for the lesser of two evils in the future.
Yeah, I always hated that saying, Shady.
So for all of the great, wonderful patriots that are out there typing 17, don't hesitate to get involved in politics and attempt to make a change, because we have great patriots out there doing just that. Joe Ray is out there in the chat. I just saw her.
Joe Ray Perkins for Senate.
In Oregon, we've also got crazy amounts of different candidates. Jesse Melton we have in Florida, who is really catching steam. Also, what was his name? Patterson. There's Cargill. There's a bunch of people out there who are not afraid to retweet Q people. And
Yeah.
Joe Ray, she's a whole nother deal. She's not only not afraid to retweet Q people, she goes after the people that are trolling.
She is a firecracker. I want her.
Offensive,
I want her in our Senate, guys.
Me too.
So, guys, Joe Ray Perkins right here. We had her on the show. She is for Oregon, for America. She is queued. She's queued up, if you will. She understands what Q is. She understands what it is to be an American. She understands our Constitution. And wouldn't it be great to see Oregon red, Shady?
Oh my gosh, I would love it.
Right. Also, another one that we've had here is Jesse Melton. I'm actually talking to her all the time, and the Parkland folks that had that terrible tragedy on them. This is Jesse Melton. Yeah. She's going for House, Shady. She is amazing, very, very smart. She's getting it. She would be the one that would help us understand where all the money went to Parkland, guys. Like the $84 million for the, the Promise Act. Where did the $800 million go for redoing all the schools in Broward? Nothing got done, guys.
You mean the schools are still the same and they got $800 million and it just went into thin air?
That's right. So, guys, votejesse.com. I'm going to drop the link there. If you guys, if someone can donate $17 to either, where's Joe Ray?
I got it. I'll get it.
Well, I got her. I just had her up here. I've got so many tabs open. There's Jesse. If you could give her $17 today, anybody. There are many. I'm also trying to get Deanna for Congress on this show. We've got a bunch of other people. Here's Joe Ray right here. $17. If anybody can do $17 today, they would really, really appreciate it, guys. We need to take back this country. Wow.
And you guys that are out there, if you have the desire to speak, if you have the desire to do a blog, if you have the desire to make videos or design or things like that, would you please let us know that you're working on these projects and we can use our platform to help propel you.
Yes. And just like Cisco Lady Liberty.
And Corgi Mom is out there.
Corgi Mom. Yes, I love Corgi Mom. You said Corgi. You're funny. They're little doggies. They're called Corgis.
Corgi Mom. I didn't say Corgi.
You said Corgi.
I didn't mean to say Corgi.
Corgi? No. Somebody said read a Q post. What was it? 7? I can't remember which one it was. It slid too fast.
Don't give us the longest one.
They probably are. 703. Let me see if I can find 703.
Let's see.
Hashtag
Let's see. 703 Matrix.
703. Let's see what it is. Yeah, we'll read this one. Shady,
Yes, this is a good.
why don't you read that?
Post number 703, February 10th, 2018. Rest in peace, Mr. President JFK. Through your wisdom and strength, since your tragic death, patriots have planned, installed, and by the grace of God, activated the beam of light. We will forever remember your sacrifice, and may you look down from above and continue to guide us as we ring the bell of freedom and destroy those who wish to sacrifice our children, our way of life, and our world. We the people. Prayer said every single day in the Oval Office. JFK secret societies. Where we go one, we go all. Q.
Boom. And that leads us back to one of the most recent Q posts before these beautiful posts, Shady. Oh my God. Right here. Infiltration instead of invasion. Q. This is not another 4-year election, folks. This is for God and country, for humanity, for humanity, for our republic. Wow, you guys, this is amazing. I could stay on all day, Shady. This, you guys, being here with you guys is absolutely amazing. Wow. You guys are smart too. So we just kind of did a little bit of a live dig for you, but we're going to head out of here right now, Shady. We'll see you tomorrow, 1300 hours. Guys, let's do it.
Bring the boom.
You're now tuned into the Matrix. The shade covering the bases. Deep diving once you go through the basics.
Sorry about that, guys.
Say you breathe, but what's it
See you tomorrow.
Preconceived notions that you're faced with. That's just a mind state. Truth will erase it. You came for truth, now it's time to face it. Bring an open mind, leave the complacence. QArmy came strapped, yeah, we're ready for war. And there's no going back once you go through the door. Once you get a taste of truth, you get a hunger for more. Hit TheMatrixxx.com, building up from the floor. Bring it, dark to light, like never before. Time to hit the website, let me give you a tour. Hit the Patreon now if you're supporting the cause. If you love the work we do, that's a form of applause. Bringing facts every day, not for an award. Red pilling in itself is the greatest reward. Follow at intheMatrixxx and at Shady Grooove. At Severe and on, yeah, you know what to do. Matrixxx Groove, the two together forming a crew. That's the move, come and be a part of it too. For the love of our people while we do what we do. Hard work and dedication just to bring it to you. It's crazy, cause they thought that she'd never lose. Now they all lose by the power that they abuse. IntheMatrixxx got threads in each one of them proves. We're right over the target every time they get cued. The thread about the Payseur sealed the deal. We are the new media, the world of the real. You can't put your finger on it, but it's something you feel. You know the truth is out there, but they keep it concealed. That's why we shine the light on what you need to reveal. You got the armor of God, we're providing the shield. Time to take the kill boxes, switch them around. Cause we're out of the matrix with the truth that we found. Enjoyed the show, the MSM is tumbling down. As we watch the deep state burn down to the ground. It's all done behind the scenes without hearing the sound. They took you for a joke, I bet they're fearing us now. All the times they played deaf, I bet they're hearing us now. They put a wall around the truth, but we're tearing it down. They want a world where thinking isn't even allowed. But this is red pill music, hope you're hearing it loud. Be your own person now, separate from the crowd. QArmy, digital soldier, repping it proud. These are digital rounds, it's a weapon of sound. And class is in session and the lesson is now.
Thank you, Shady Groove. Thank you guys out there on YouTube land. Share this video, guys. Please, please, please. Check the links below to support us. There's many, many ways. Joanna, thank you very much. Joanna Berlin. Thank you for that. Super chats. Thank you, super chatters. We got PayPal. We got t-shirts. We got My Patriot Supply. We got so much for you guys. We got redpillliving.com/intheMatrixxx. Guys, we need your help. We need your support. And thank you very much for it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Much, much love. In the Matrixx with 3x's.com. Peace.